and welcome to Utuntu Zamgazini Talk Show at Shanyapo. My name is Tisa and I am very, very excited to have our guest today. So our guest is very, very special, very special. She's always behind the camera when we go places, but today it's an honor to have her here with us, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So I'll just go right ahead and let her introduce herself.
Okay,
Yes.
I don't know what kind of introduction you want, but if it's just my name, Mkonda Chitakwa.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't even know your surname.
Yeah, I only knew that I'm
No, I know the surname. So, May is an exciting month for me, and we're only 5 days in, and I'm so excited. Not because it has a lot of holidays in starting, but also because it's Mother's Day, and it's a month where we celebrate mothers.
Yeah.
So, for me, parenting, when I look at it, because I'm not yet a parent, is something that intrigues me. It intrigues me because then it's a whole lot of responsibility. Yes. It looks fun. It has its days. And looking at mothers, wow, when I think of it, I'm excited. I mean, I want to be a mom one day, but then there are some times when I look at my mom and I'm like, this
What's
job,
wrong?
because this
Job.
one is 24/7. There's no holiday to it. So for the month of May, we're going to be talking to different mothers just to get more gist, get more information on their experiences as mothers. I mean, there's so many things that we hear, motherhood is like this, it's like that, but it would be nice to get the facts and talk to real people about what it's like to be a mother. So right here we have a mom.
Yeah.
And we're going to get right into that. But before we go into her motherhood journey, we just like to know, profession-wise, your day-to-day. How is it? What do you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I do a lot.
Okay.
But the main thing that I do is video production. So when you talk about video production, it means we can do movies, we can do documentaries, we can do music videos, we can do different TV content.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Like
is
the
video
Tutors
production.
Magazine talk show.
Yes, so I can produce this one, I can
Yes.
produce a documentary, I can produce movies. Actually, I even love movies a lot. Yeah, though in Zambia we are not yet there, but at least where we are right now
Getting there.
is far much better than where we used to be a long time. So I'm so much into video production. I think that's my main work.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you done a movie before?
I would say yes, I have done a lot.
Okay.
Yes, I've done a lot of movies, though where you are just hired to produce a movie.
Yes.
Sometimes I do shooting and editing. Someone will bring a script. Sometimes I even review scripts. Then from there we go for shooting. Some people would do location scouting. I would make sure that everything is in place. I've done people's works. Unfortunately, others might not be comfortable to mention their productions.
Yes,
Yes. But then I have also done my own personal productions.
Okay.
Though the biggest time I was doing movies was those days when we were into DVDs.
Ah.
Yeah. When
Look
it comes
for
to
DVD.
Copper Belt, we used to do a lot of DVD movies and would sell from Copper Belt. Ooh, where are my celebrities of Copper Belt?
Okay, sell it.
Yeah,
That
in
is
Dollar
so
would
good.
sell a lot of movies. Yeah, until TV came and took over. Yeah, when it comes to TVs, like in Zambia, we find that many TV stations are not, the local TV stations are not buying TV movies. So we find that even if you produce a movie, you struggle to find market for it. But then we have thought of the best way, at least Zambia is trying when it comes to cinemas.
Yes.
So I've seen most movie producers in Zambia, they're going that direction. So I have also taken a step
Okay.
to work on a production that will be going in the cinema.
We can't wait.
Yeah.
This year?
Actually, this year, very, very, very soon, we are into productions already.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can't wait to see it. Might just save a date. Please do let us know before time so that we prepare.
We will definitely let you know.
I'm very excited. And you mentioned music videos. So you produce music videos as well.
Yes.
And the movie, sorry, take you back. The movie that you are working on, did you write the script or you're just producing?
If I tell you how economy has been, Okay, I'm a script writer.
Yeah.
I've written most of the, let me say, many scripts for people. Yeah, I think I've even done more of scripting than producing movies. Yeah, so I thought of, why can't I write my own script?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wrote a script. I've given 1 or 2 people to review the scripts, and people have added and spiced it in any way they could. And the movie we're producing right now, it was written by me.
That is awesome. Written and produced. I cannot wait to see it.
Yes.
I'm very excited to see it. And we'll be sharing the dates when it
Yes.
will be out.
For premieres,
charts.
actually, in our local cinemas.
Yeah, to be premium content. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now, how long have you been? Have you always been a working mom, or you became a mom then got into work? Or
The good part of movie production, or let me say video production, let me not talk about movie production because I'm into video production.
yes.
So the good part of being a video producer is you can either work for someone or work for yourself.
Okay.
So being a mom, I've been at some point, I'm a full-time working mom. Sometimes I'm just self-employed. You know, when it comes to self-employed, you can schedule your programs. You know that I've got a small baby. There was the time my second born, I remember the girl, I left her when she was just 1 week old. I had to go and work. It was my own production.
Okay.
So I had no choice but just to go. So,
And work.
so it has been on and off,
Yeah.
full-time mom, sometimes full-time working mom. It has been like that.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay, that is interesting. So now we go to why we're here.
Yes.
When did you start? Like when did you have your first baby? When the journey started?
Actually, sorry, I had my firstborn on 12th February, that is 2006.
Almost Valentine's Day.
2 days before Valentine's Day, I was like, why didn't you wait?
Yes,
on
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I had my firstborn in 2006.
Okay.
Today, he's 15 years old, and he's a grade 10.
I could have never guessed.
And he's a big boy. If our transmission has got the pictures for the boy I'm talking about, he's really a big boy.
A whole teen.
He's a teen.
Yeah, in that age, they feel so cool and grown up.
I feel old.
Yeah, but best believe I could have never guessed that you even have someone who's 15 years old.
Really?
No, doesn't show.
Like
So that
Yeah.
was 2006.
That was 2006. That's
Okay.
when I became a mother. Yeah, I got married in 2005.
Oh,
So
okay.
2006, our firstborn arrived, and the excitement, the
Yeah.
happiness, the fear at the same time. You know,
Okay.
being a mom is not always exciting. There's always fears. You know, how will I take care of the baby? Sometimes you look at the age. I wasn't all that young. Yeah, that's my firstborn. That is our firstborn, the boy.
Very
Yes,
handsome.
that's a recent picture actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our big boy, and that is our last born.
Oh, so you have 3.
I have 3 actually.
Nice.
3, yes. That's the first. That's the second. The girl is the second, and the boy, the smaller one, that is our last born, who turned 6 years today.
Today, wow,
Today.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Daniel Chitakwa. That's our Kasuli.
Yes, shout out to Daniel.
Yeah, so as I was saying, being a mother is not an easy thing. It's you might have that excitement, you might have your husband around, you might have other people around, but there's always fear of, here is a newborn, you're not so sure if you manage to take care, they're so fragile.
Yes.
You're excited, at the same time you have fear. It's like you have mixed feelings, but it's a very interesting journey. It's a very exciting journey because I was young, though not too young. I had a baby when I was, if I'm not mistaken, 23.
Okay.
Yeah, I got married at 22 and I had a baby 23. Yeah, so please, those who know how to calculate age, they can calculate my age.
Yes. Already.
By today. Yeah. So I was a bit younger on my own, in my own world.
Yes.
I was a bit younger, so I had to call grandma to say, come and help me with the baby. So
Yes.
grandma came and helped me with the baby, how to take care of the baby, how to bath the baby,
The
all
bathing part.
the bathing part, the squeezing and I was really scared.
Kachina.
I had to say, Mbuya, wait until the baby at least is strong enough. Yeah, that's when she went back to her home. Yeah, so it's a very interesting journey. I enjoy it. When I had the second born, it was wonderful. The girl, I was alone. Okay, with my husband, yes, and other people around, but there was no grandma, there was no mom. Yeah, I was in Dola. I was away from mother, grandmother, they were in Lusaka. And for me, I was in Dola with my family, my husband and other children. Yeah, so I would say I was all alone. So I had to start now knowing how to bath the baby. Like, okay, grandma used to do it like this on my first born. This time I took her, and the only problem was the girl was very small. Like really, really tiny. Even now, when you look at her body, she's small. She's slim. That small baby. Yeah. So the journey is really, really interesting and scary at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now we're going to be breaking for a bit, and when we come back, we're going to get deeper with the motherhood journey. There's so much here. There's so much to be unpacked. And catch us. We'll just go for a short break. Then we'll be right back. Honored to be in this beautiful home, our guest home. I love it here. I don't think I'm going back. And we're still on our motherhood journey with different moms telling us the exciting journeys, the exciting experiences of being mothers. These are real stories with real people. I'm very excited. So our guest today, I'll let her introduce herself.
My name is Talita Bulaya. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for making time.
That's what a mother does. You welcome people into your home.
And after this, we're having lunch. So thank you very much. Just a quick one. I would like to know, how do you balance being a mom and work?
It's easier now that the children are older.
Okay.
It was a challenge when they were young because as you know, work, they don't take excuses. And being a woman, you have to struggle for you to be noticed, so you can't afford to always be making excuses. But it wasn't easy. And because it wasn't easy for my first child, I took her to school earlier than I would have liked. At 2 years, she had already started school. Yes. And I remember for my second child, the day I was supposed to report for work, my maid left. So instead of reporting for work, I was reporting with the baby. And I remember my boss was livid. He was like, your friends come into my office with documents and you're coming in here with the baby? So no, it wasn't easy, especially the aspect of depending on a maid. Yes, that's just crazy. But it's amazing. Over time, they've grown and they're adults. My oldest child is 28 and my youngest is 24. So I'm able to work without having to worry about them.
Okay, that's awesome. That must have been interesting. I can imagine the look on my boss's face if I was to come with the baby on the show. I put her right here. Another must have been something.
Yes.
Another one. So far, 28 years of being a mom. What are some of the exciting moments that you have had? I mean, they are past the teenage years. For teenage years, I still remember giving my mom that. But then, what has been the exciting moments that you had?
I think, first of all, it's to be called mom. I think that's the best name any mother could have, to be called mom, and to have, in my case, these two people who depend on you, who trust you, who believe in you. That's awesome. And despite your flaws, they still love you and still look up to you. For me, that's awesome. And then the best moments is to see them, to see them grow. Like for my eldest, to watch her from a toddler to become this lady that's independent. She's so feisty. So she just wants to do her own things. But it's their achievements, you know, to see them finish school, go to university, become their own person, and be determined to be who they want to be. It gives a mother such a great feeling. Yeah. So it's also allowing the children to be what they want to become. My son is interested in cooking, so let him do that. My daughter is interested in being a model, in being her own person, but she loves school. So it's just accepting the different personalities and accommodating them. Yes, and also steering them in the right path.
That is nice. The last one.
Okay.
So mostly there's this saying or there's this thing that people have in society, especially for people that us who are now in our 20s, where they'll tell you, no, if you're a career woman, you cannot be a mom, or if you're a mom, you can't do much with your career. It's like you have to pick one, which is not the case with you. So what advice would you give someone out there who's in that stage, young people like us?
First of all, I'll tell you it's not easy. I remember there was a day when I was supposed to write exams and I couldn't because my daughter came down with measles. So it's about making sacrifices, but it's also about learning how to juggle between being a mom and being a career person. It's also making sure you have the right support system, because my maid Priscilla concentrate on work, and also I was blessed because my maid was a grade 12. So she was there helping me out, because those were the days when I'd leave home early in the morning and come back late. But she was there to help me prepare the kids for school, their homework, prepare them for tests. And at that time, I used to travel around the country. And I was able to do that because I had a good support system. So anything is possible if you're determined. Because if you're determined, then you'll make sure that everything is in place. It's not easy, but who says life is easy? And the challenge is worth it. Thank you.
Welcome back as we continue on the exciting journey of motherhood with Mukonda. So we've talked about the scary parts, the exciting parts of being a mother. So far I'm learning so much, and personally the thought of being a mom is exciting and scary, like she said, because then babies.
Babies are nice.
Yes, they're cute and adorable, but they don't let you sleep.
Actually, to talk about the sleeping part,
Exactly.
it's you just need an understanding partner.
Oh yeah.
Because let me not say much of understanding partner, but you need understanding people around you. So whether you had a baby, when you're not married, you need people around you who are very understanding, because just being a mother, it's tiresome. Okay, it's tiresome. Breastfeeding, taking care of the baby, you need to bath the baby, you need to feed the baby, all those things, thinking of the diapers, whether it's matebela. Those days we used to use nappies. My firstborn, it was all nappies. It was rare that we would get my diapers like these days. So you think of all those washing nappies, doing all those washing clothes for the baby. The schedule changes. It's different from my personal washing. It's different from my personal bath. I would give myself like, okay, I'll bath in the morning. Maybe if I'm going for work, I'll come and bath when sleeping in the evenings after a long day. But when you have a baby, it's like you're adding an extra bathing schedule on your normal schedule that you have. So already, if you are bathing twice a day, which means you have added maybe two bath schedules as well. So you have 4 times bathing yourself twice and bathing a baby twice, which is 4 times touching water and soap.
Yes.
So already it's tiresome. But then if you have people around you who are helping, whether it's your partner, your husband, or just your family members to be there, most of the times, I don't know these days, those days they used to do when you are due, when your pregnancy is due, they would bring you at least like a girl at home if it's holidays or other times. They would bring you a girl at home where that girl will be able to help you with home chores, washing plates, going to the market and other things. Because just taking care of a baby is really tiresome, I tell you.
It is.
Yeah.
That is true. So you mentioned breastfeeding.
Yes.
So, for most people, they'll be like, no, it took a while for me to start breastfeeding in public and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I have aunties who sometimes will be like, wait, you're skitting like this. What when you have a baby?
When you have a baby,
you even start breastfeeding at church. So what was that like for you?
For the first time, it was tricky. Yeah, but when I was a mother, first time mother, I was home. I was working. Actually, where I was working from UTH that time, I was given like the whole 9 months I was working.
Okay.
I was given 2 options. It's either because I was given 3 months to wait to be on the maternity leave. So if I get 1 month leave before the baby is born, which means I was remaining with 2 months with the baby. So I calculated 2 months. I didn't feel like it would be enough leaving the baby. So I had to wait until the baby was born to get my leave so that I can have 3 months. So I was given 3 months. When the baby was born, I was given 3 months. So I was home. It was a lucky part of my side. I was home the whole 3 months. So to start breastfeeding from the beginning, of course, there are nurses who would help you breastfeed. There are parents home who would be able to help you breastfeed. There's just a funny feeling where when I was still at the clinic, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what time to breastfeed the baby. Like I stayed I don't know how long I stayed at the clinic before I could breastfeed the baby. Because I didn't know when to give the baby like the first breast, feeding. I was like, okay, I'll wait. I'll hold on. I don't know, even the third born. Yeah. Imagine even the third born, I stayed long before I could give the baby. Because the day the baby was born, I didn't have any milk coming out.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, but when I was pregnant, before the baby was born, at some point milk would come out. But the day the baby was born, there was no milk. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. I stuck around just trying to wait around. Does milk just come on its own or what? Until the nurse said, you haven't breastfed your baby. The nurses sometimes they get tired, they become a bit, you haven't breastfed your baby. A baby tried to be dry water. They got some, I don't know if it was some water.
Yes.
I don't know if it was water or just some fluids. Sometimes we don't ask. I don't know why. I regret today why I didn't ask. They got some syringe, put in that, what do you call that? I think that's a syringe where they just put in fluids and then they gave the baby and said, you have to breastfeed. So I was like, okay, how do I do it? I started trying to give the breast to the baby. And the problem is when I put my nipple in his mouth, I was like,
that was scary.
I was like, oh, okay, hold on.
Sorry.
Okay. But it was fun. At the end of the day, the baby was able to suck. I was like, oh, okay.
You know how to do it.
Okay, so it's fully. Now, there's that shyness. You can't just, when you are still a girl, the breasts are rarely seen.
Yes.
It's something that, I can wear with my belly outside, I'll wear with my low-cut trousers, but the breasts are just something we don't usually expose when it comes to girls. So, but then to start giving it in public, especially in church.
At church.
There was a time my father-in-law came home and we sat in the sitting room with my husband, my father-in-law and everyone, and I was supposed to breastfeed the baby. So I asked myself, should I go in the bedroom just to breastfeed or I should breastfeed? But it's very funny because once you get used, you even forget that there are in-laws around.
You just had to breastfeed.
You even get it from down here. Instead of getting it from up, you even go like, so, okay. okay. It just gets used. I don't know, but when you're starting, it's kind of tricky.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
I'm already shy beforehand.
No, but when your work is flexible, where you have 3 months home, at least you get used. By the time you are going back for work to the public places, you'll be able to be used. Because even at church, I don't know how it is now. You know, the churches are modernizing somehow.
Yes.
I'm Adventist, by the way, and those days, I don't know, let me not say much, but there's a point where they used to say, when you have a baby, you don't go to church up to a certain level. Because as a lady, I'll have to get that information very well, but others will tell you, no, you can't come to church yet until you are done with samba, shanshan, So I didn't go to church for almost the whole 3 months until my leave at work ended. That's when I was able to go to many public places now. So it was only people would come home, visit home, they would see me breastfeed, my father-in-law and other people who came home. At least my father-in-law those days used to travel much to the clinic where he used to come for work and other things. So he would see me do that. I was okay, and other people would see me do that. I became comfortable.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you mentioned, you know how sometimes there's all these beliefs and myths and tradition when that surrounds motherhood, is when you have a baby. What you can't do, the baby can't go out in the first 2 months, 1 month, some it's 4 months, like all that. And I've seen it with my aunts and other mothers. These things sometimes get to be tricky when you're living in the modern world. So let's say you're working, or you have to take the baby to the clinic, but then there's grandma says you cannot take the baby to the clinic until after 5 months, and the baby has to go get BCG. So then how do you manage? How do you move around the society norms and traditions and just taking care of your baby? How did you manage?
It was tricky, but again, you have to understand. You have to understand motherhood. You have to understand the reason behind those traditions. Why do they say don't take the baby outside when they are still young? Okay, when it comes to the modern life, mostly they would also encourage you not to take the baby outside. It's not only traditionally as in Zambian tradition or African culture. Even Western life, they would tell you do not take the baby outside. Why? There are so many reasons. When the baby is still young, like they're prone to diseases, to catch a disease easily. Look at this time, it's cold season. There's COVID everywhere. There's cough, sneezes, and everything. So when the baby is still young, the immune system is very weak. It is still developing. So every disease, every sickness that will be around or near the baby will be sick. Others, they get terribly sick, like seriously sick. So that is the first reason why they tell us don't take the baby outside. Because inside, you have few people to visit. Even visitations are limited. Your friends, only close friends and relatives who come to visit. Sometimes we don't even allow church people, like all those old people to come and visit. Yes, we would restrict the visitations. Sometimes we don't even announce it, like, oh, there's a baby. But of course at church they would announce. They talk about those. People will come. Congratulations, they will pass your congratulations. But we restrict people who come to visit, because from outside there are diseases, there are sicknesses, which are airborne disease most of the times. So we try to avoid the babies going outside, because congested places or public places are always contaminated. Yes, but when it comes to tradition, I've never asked much why they don't ask. But they used to say, no, before the umbilical cord drops,
the hair,
before you carve, before you shave the hair, don't take the baby out. Because there's a belief that that hair, when the baby is born with that hair, they say people use it for some juju, some charm. So they can do a lot with your baby. Others, your baby will not even grow up at a certain age they're supposed to grow up to. So even the umbilical cord, they say you have to be careful where it's dropping, how it's dropping.
Yes.
So you all have to follow those. But sometimes we don't question too much. We just say, oh, okay, Mambuya. If your Mbuya tells you that, don't argue. Even if you know that, okay, BCG, you have to take the baby BCG. Actually, my grandmother is the one who even reminded me to say 6 days. Is it a 6 days one? Yes. Don't worry, my last born is 6 years, so I'm forgetting. So it was like at 6th day,
Yes.
you have to take the baby for BCG. And then again, is it 3 months? Is it what? We keep following that schedule. I was taking the baby. And grandma would even remind me, you have to take your baby for injection. You have to take your baby for injection. So if we try to miss those because of traditions, I don't think this time there's any tradition that is allowing you to miss those immunizations and other things. No.
Yeah.
Then they are trying to be unfair with you. They're trying
Yeah.
to be unfair with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think basically, anyway, like you said, we don't question much because then we know these people are telling us, they are passing on what they know.
What they've known,
and it's
yes.
coming from a place of love, and these are
Mhm.
things that have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting to have both, if you ask me.
Huh?
I'm saying it
To-
makes it
yes,
interesting to have both
both,
sides
yeah,
of,
yeah, that's true.
of it. So now I couldn't help but notice, so we have a teenager and one close to the teenager in terms of age, and we have a 6-year-old.
We have, that's a 6-year-old. So when you look at the age
If
difference.
I was
so,
six.
So it's 6. He has
Six
turned
today, right?
6 today.
Mm.
This one has turned 6 today. So from the girl, from that girl.
Yes,
Okay, look at
the
the age,
girl.
look at even the height difference. The boy is 15, the girl is 12.
Okay.
So at least there's a 3 years difference there.
Yes, there's
Now
three.
from the girl to the boy, the girl is 12, the boy is 6. This one. Okay, I stopped. When I had the second born, I
Yeah.
stopped. I was like, Chapwa, I don't want to have any more babies.
I'm done.
But then, I don't know what happened to love. Just felt like, can we have another one?
Let's have another
After
little
6
one.
years.
Yeah.
Though there were a lot of people messages, people saying no information where people are telling you you can't have a baby after 6 years from the last time you had that. You know,
Oh.
yeah, even my health Kenya, they said don't take too long before you have another child. Yeah, it's like you have complications. So yes, so when you look at him from the second born, I almost stopped. Let me say I just stopped.
You
We
stopped.
convinced ourselves with my husband that no, let's stop.
Just
Yeah. And some health complications here and there, some less blood sometimes. Sometimes you find that you have less blood. We have to live on boosting the blood and that kind of. So, but then you find that when you have a child, you I would lose a lot of blood. So they would encourage like you wait a bit before you have another child. So we just said nah, let's forget about having children. We have a boy and a girl. Come on, what else do we need? Which gender do we need? Do we?
We have
Yes, we have
everything.
everything. So we stopped, and then years later, I was like, can we have another one? It was just there's just that, when you're married, there's just that thing you develop. Like, okay, yes, I know I have this little complication of blood,
Yes.
but can we just have one more? After all these years that I want.
I want to have a baby.
And I had the third boy. And it was like, whoo! He wanted to leave me. It was like, no, this one took after the father. The father is light in complexion. Yeah, the boy just took after the father, like everything. I was like, oh, okay. So, Msungwazi, Wafsama, he was waiting. Yeah, last. When you take a look at the two, they take after my complexion.
Yes,
The firstborn
they do. Even
especially
the
is
smile.
like me. The secondborn, they are like me. But then the lastborn who is like the father now. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's him. He's
Yep,
very different.
it's different
from the two.
Yes.
Very, very different. We're like, okay, that's good. We had the third born. And the boy, I was like, I thought I would have a girl. And it was a boy. I was like, by having a... And when you see those two, when they start fighting, the boy and the boy, the big boy...
And the small boy.
They do like they are all coming. This small
Wow.
boy, they do like they are all, their age mates or something, like their peers maybe, but they're very different.
They fight. I cannot imagine if the small boy was the second. Like
If the small boy was the second, it would have been bad. If this one was the second
would
born,
have been
we
fighting.
would have been fighting, because like now, okay, the only problem is this big boy doesn't want to play with a very small boy, because he says he doesn't know how to play my games I want.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what games those are. A teenage boy says, no, this one disturbs me.
It's
I
not
want to go this
disturbing.
side.
He
He's
wants
telling
to
me something, and
follow.
he wants to follow me. I don't want to play with him. And then he'll be telling me to play with mud, to play with this. Me, I don't want to play with those things. So they'll start arguing, and they'll just be arguing the whole time. But then This time they are not really together. Yeah, they are not together. These two are with me now, but the small boy is in Kitwe with the mother, the new mother. Yeah, the new mommy who is with him. He's enjoying life in Kitwe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where he is. So I've got these two naughty boys, naughty babies, the boy and the girl at home with me. This one is in Kitwe.
Nice. It should be very interesting. Can only imagine. Yeah. It's like 6 years in between. But anyway,
6 years in between.
Usually there's all these, like you said, people say it's complications that come after, but though I can't help but wonder, all of them, when you are delivering, were they all normal, or did you have cesarean sections and all that?
No, I've never had any cesarean section.
Okay.
Okay, they I don't know the right way to put it without offending others. Okay, they normally say when you are tall, you are on the advantage of having a normal delivery.
Okay, yeah. Most
of the times, and me, I've been on the taller side.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know some people have got C-sections due to maybe the baby was too big and other things. Yeah. But me, the only problem I had on the firstborn, the cuts were big. So you find that the sutures were a lot, all the way down and everything, because the firstborn was really born big like he was really big. Yeah, but I've never had any C-section. I've all delivered all of them normal, and it has been wonderful.
That's awesome.
It's really a beautiful feeling to be a mother.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's really beautiful. It's an interesting journey. So now, there's this thing that used to happen. I've got an older brother, and we would fight a lot when we were younger, but now we don't fight.
You have grown up.
We've grown up, but I miss fighting. But so it's just the two of us. And usually when we're fighting, the mom and dad would have to stop the fights. So then, when your kids are fighting, what is that like for you? Because then you have to stop the fight. You have to be careful not to pick a side. You have to conflict resolution.
That one is a tough one, believe you me, because even babies themselves, they'll start feeling like mom is favoring this one or dad is favoring this one. They'll start having that feeling to say this one is mom's favorite, this one is dad's favorite. But then you just have to be careful. Sometimes you might not even realize it that you are picking on the side. But most of the times when there's a smaller one, you look at the difference, the age difference. The other one is 15 and the boy is 6. So when these two are fighting, of course I'll take the side of a small one, because at least an older one will be able to understand the conflict. Yeah, they'll be able to understand the conflict to say, okay, uyumaiche alefaya ukwangala nefi. If this small one wants to play with the mud, I don't want to play with mud. There's a way you can resolve the issue. But now if the big one is also fighting back the small one, when of course definitely I'll go and favor the small one, even if sometimes you find that the small one is in wrong. There are times where you even sit there and look, you see that the small one is in a wrong, but mostly would favor a small one because the older one can find a better way, especially like him who is a teenager. It's easy for him to understand that this one is younger. But where the age, like the 12-year and the 15-year-old are fighting, it is very difficult to first thing, you have to understand the conflict. What are you arguing about? Mostly they argue about a TV. There's only one TV set. Look at it in this way. Whether they have gone to their grandma, because they like going to their grandma to watch movies or whatever they like watching on TV, or they come home, they want to watch a movie in a computer. You find that the girl wants to watch a cartoon for girls, like Barbie, like Tinkerbell and other things, and the boy wants to watch Ben 10.
Yes, or Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Yes, that cartoon was bringing trouble in the house. The boy wants Teenage Mutant, the girl wants Barbie. But you're having one TV. Of course, there are different channels. Maybe it's the computers. Mostly my children have got computers in the computer. I mean, the movies in the computer. Now, when they want to watch those cartoons in the computer, it's one computer. The other one wants Teenage Mutant. The other one wants Barbie. At the same time, they'll start fighting. No, it's my turn. No, you have watched. No, you were here. Now, you stand there. You don't know what to do. You don't know who is right. You don't know who is wrong. But you know that they both want to watch. What would you do? If you say, okay, watch Barbie first, the boy will feel like you're favoring the girl.
Yes.
And when you say watch Teenage Mutant, the girl will feel like you're favoring the boy. So what do you do? At the end of the day, you just say, guys, can you give each other schedules on who is watching what? You are grade what? The boy is grade 9. That time was grade 9. You are grade 9. You're writing exams. So this time avoid being on the computer. Avoid watching too much movies. Go and study. If you want to go and look for friends to study with, he will be angry and leaves home. But at the end of the day, find that you understand, okay, they want to help me when it comes to studies. Yeah. But you just have to be so careful. Believe you me, these children, they feel that mom's energy is towards this one. And I have negative energy when it comes from mom. And the other child will even be boasting a mom's favorite. So the way we have done it with my husband at home, the 3 children, they all have different, I don't know if you can call them titles. Yes.
Okay.
So the firstborn, we call him our pride. Okay, he knows that is our pride, is our firstborn.
Firstborn, my pride and joy.
You know, he's everything, and he likes it when you say this is our pride. The second boy, we say our princess. She's the only princess. She's the only girl we have. So she feels good when she says, I'm a princess. Then the last born we call, if I tell you what we call the last born.
I want to know it.
We call him our mzungu.
Yes.
You know, he feels like, I'm the mzungu at home. Because of the complexion and everything. So, this is our mzungu. He feels good. So when we say our only princess, she feels good. When we say our pride, the firstborn, he feels good. So all of them have got special titles that we refer to them. Not where another one you're calling him, David, come here. The other one you say, Princess, come here. The David would feel so bad. But the princess will say, I think I'm mom's favorite, or I'm my parents' princess, what. No. So all of them have given them special titles where they all feel unique. If you want to call your children by name, call all of them by name. If you want to give titles to your children, give titles to your children, all of them, without favoring. So that way you feel the children will even be feeling special.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Otherwise, so interesting. And we're going to go on another break, and we'll be back shortly for more juicy details of motherhood. Paul, welcome back to our motherhood journey with Mukonda. So I have this question. I saw this video of a mother. It's a meme actually. She was opening chocolate. Okay. So she was opening chocolate, and then like a child says, "Mama," and then she shoved the whole chocolate. The whole chocolate in the mouth. And then I've heard this where mom's like, I'm on being a mom, that's winning. So then, how do you share food also with among your kids? I mean, you want to eat, because then I know for my mom, whatever she's eating, we want to eat. Even if you've eaten, when you just see she's eating, you want to eat. Also, you sharing with them, and as well as being able to share. Let's say you have chocolate or you have food. Not the normal meals, but then how do you share food among them? Do you make them eat together? How does that work?
No, you can't make them eat together. Some main meals, you can eat them, you can make them eat together, but sometimes it's very difficult. I know when it comes to tradition, they encourage that they sit together and eat. But then, you look at the age difference, okay? The 15-year-old cannot eat on the same plate with a 6-year-old. Of course, he will munch a lot, and before the 6-year-old thinks of getting the second lump or whatever, the food would have finished. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to main meals, we give them separately according to age. I know how much food my firstborn eats. I know how much food the last born eats. So there you would always, you can put food on one plate, but let them have side plates, because the big boy will eat more and the small boy will eat less. And the girl, she knows how she eats as a girl. She's got favorite ways of eating, as a girl. There's always, we need to understand, when you're a mother, you need to understand that a boy and a girl, I know they say we are fighting for equality and other things, but in the house, to me, I pay more attention to the girl's needs. And when a girl complains of something, I would listen more. Okay, I'm not saying the boys, I throw them away. No, because sometimes a boy can fight on their own. Okay, I've seen my boy came home like from fighting, and I was worried, like, what happened? No, they've beaten me here and what. I got worried, yes. We tried to follow up the case, the matter. But when it comes to a girl, I don't want anyone to touch her anywhere.
Yes.
Believe you me, I become so uncomfortable. Even the way I teach her in the home to say, when a boy comes closer, they want to play with you like this, make sure you're not. So even when eating, I know the girl wants to eat in a certain way. So I will not force them to say, Akudieni, here's the food, to eat together. No, a girl, if she wants to eat, she will eat in any way she wants. That's fine. So, but when it comes to these funny meals,
you have
like
2 bananas. Who do you give?
When I have 2 bananas, first to start with, when I'm coming from wherever, whether it's a market, so if I don't have enough for the 3 of them, I will not buy.
Oh.
I will not buy. If I've bought food, whatever food I want to buy for the market, if it was eri shumnani nangushani nangu tomatoes eyo na chiamu kushita ku market, nga change ta kumano kubashitira majigis 1 nishisha ashite. So if I buy, I would rather buy an apple or an orange, which I know that at the end of the day I'll cut it equally, I'll give them. But if it's bananas where there are 3, I buy 2. It will be difficult if I give a small boy, but of course sometimes a small boy, give him a big one. Because when I even him he has to grow.
Yeah.
So I would somehow give the small boy, like, okay, have this, a big one, then one, I will share one between the 2 grown-ups. Yeah. But where I also want to eat, because it doesn't mean that when you're a mother, then you start starving yourself. That's one thing we should know. When you're a mother, it doesn't mean you have to starve yourself. I'm not looking starved. Am I looking starved?
No, you don't look starved. You look fresh.
Yeah, there's some food that I know I need to eat as a mother as well, especially when you're breastfeeding. Actually, you need to even eat more when you're breastfeeding. So you need all the nutritious food. But if you feel like, no, what I've bought is not enough, I'm not teaching mothers to be stingy, but somehow it's better you hide that food and eat it at a time you feel like the children are not around.
Do you like that one?
Yes, I've done that. I've done that. Yes, they told me, like, you need to be eating some sour milk kind, some shan to make your milk come up a lot for milk formation or whatever they call it. So I buy a sour milk and I look at the other children that are there. They are 2 big children. And then I know that if I share this, my milk will not help. That's the only money I have for like a small sour milk. So when I buy that sour milk, they will not see it until the time I feel comfortable to drink it, because I'm also trying to help my body. So yes, you can grow thin, but it doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself, because everything that comes, you give babies, everything that comes. Our mothers would have been dying before they even have a baby born. Yes. So I try to hide.
Sometimes you just have to gut yourself.
Come on, sometimes my husband brings me food that I eat alone. My babies don't even know that was.
We have known. Today we have known.
No, you see?
Last question. I know video production is very involving. It's not work that you can do remotely. It's very hands-on. You have to make sure the script is followed. Everything has to be. It's a lot.
Yes.
And how do you manage a work that is so demanding and motherhood that is also demanding with 3 beautiful babies?
Hi. To start with, I don't know if I mentioned, the last born, the small boy, is not with me now.
Yeah.
He's in Kitwe. So it was kind of a relief when my sister in marriage or my brother-in-law called to say, we want your boy. So I somehow, there was a fear of my baby going away. He was still young that time. If he wasn't 3, yeah, somewhere there. Was it 3, 4? I think it was 3. So then I was scared, but at the same time I felt relieved, because I looked at my work schedule. Most of the time, believe you me, my children are at their grandmothers, because I'm always busy. Like Thursdays, I go home very late. like 22 hours, that's when I'm reaching home. Now imagine you have like a small boy at home
Yeah.
who needs attention. So thank God, God knows how he works. Some people got the babies. Even the boy had gone to boarding school. The girl, like right now, he was in Mansa. So they were a bit scattered. Because I felt like I was somehow too busy. The work was demanding. But then when the boy came home, he's a grown up, and the girl is a grown up. So the boy, I said, stick around there first for now. But when you have them home, most of the time that's where people who help come in. Sometimes you get a relative. I had like a girl I brought up, who was helping with children at home. She was, at least with her, she was a grown up until she got married last year. So
that's nice.
She grew up in my home because she was helping with children and other things while I'm out working. So it's always easy to get a relative if you don't have enough money to pay a maid. Though sometimes I fear maids because there are people I don't know. To leave a baby with them, I feel a bit uncomfortable. So I cannot have a maid when I'm home as well. Because if you're doing scripts at home, you're doing your own works from home, it's easy compared to when you're employed. When you're employed, you have to report 7 hours or 8 hours, you're in the office. You have to make sure a maid has come, you're leaving the baby with a stranger. It somehow, to me, I felt uncomfortable throughout my motherhood life, like the time I've been having babies. But I've relied on relatives. Just bring up like a girl who can help you while she's going to school. There's a way you make the schedules
work. Yes. At least when you're getting home late, you know that there's someone babysitting. Just like I mentioned when I had my firstborn. Even if I was home for 3 months, grandma was there also. So even if I go somewhere, I would leave the baby with grandma. I wasn't comfortable to get a maid. So it's kind of easy to deal with babies. As long as you understand your babies, you understand what you need, and you have people who are supportive. Yes, that's true. Okay, thank you so much. It's been an honor. It's been interesting. I'm tempted to say we should do this again next week.
I wish me a happy Mother's Day.
And definitely happy Mother's Day. It's been very interesting. I've learned so much. And in closing, is there any other thing that you'd like to say to mothers out there other than happy Mother's Day?
I want to wish them a happy Mother's Day, of course, and I want to tell them that do not be scared to go out there. And at least understand what you want to do. When you become a mother, it doesn't mean that's the end of the world. I wish time was there because I have friends who when they got married, before getting married, they used to be singers, very good singers. They would make even money from music. But immediately they got married, they had children, career died, and everything just buried like that. So it doesn't mean that when you become a mother, you neglect yourself, you forget about anything that you have been. Like you are here. It doesn't mean when you become a mother, then you forget about this beautiful career you have. You have to continue it. So if there's a mother out there who has buried their career because they've become a mother, believe you me, even God himself will be angry at you because he wants you to be the best. He wants you to still be a good wife, good mother, and good friend. And of course, a good employee, whatever you want to get the job.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mukonda. That's it from now. Wishing all the mothers a happy Mother's Day. Please remember to call your mom, check on your mom, check on every mother that has been in your life. After all, it takes a village to raise a child. So check on all the mothers. It's not easy. It's an exciting journey, but it has its challenges. So happy Mother's Day, and thank you for being our moms. From us, it's at Shanya Po.
Shanya Po.
See you next time.